Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at The Avengers, War Across Time. Written by Paul Levitz, art by Alan Davis, color by Rachelle Rosenberg, letters by VC's Cory Petit, cover art by Alan Davis and Matt Hollingsworth, assistant editor Martin Bureau, associate editor Annalisa Bissa, edited by Tom Brevoort. I really like that cover. It's really well done, and shockingly, it does apply to what's going on in the book. So the Avengers arrive at the Baxter building hoping that the Fantastic Four can help them in this fight against Kang, and they're hoping to use Dr. Doom's time platform for that. But the Fantastic Four are away on some sort of mission, and nobody knows when they're coming back. And they have a conversation with Willie Lumpkin, who is not the most helpful person in the world, and they decide they're going to have to break in. They think the Fantastic Four is going to understand because it is an emergency. But unfortunately, there's booby traps, and these bands like coils with lubricant on them wrap them up and make it really hard to fight. Thankfully, they figure out how to deactivate that pretty quick, but the time platform ends up being too complicated for them, and they don't really want to mess with something they don't understand. So they end up having to leave, and accidentally somebody activates the time platform, and they end up summoning the King of Dwarves. And he is not happy. He figures out that Thor was there, so he blames Thor for bringing him here, thinking he's being kidnapped, and he goes on a little rampage, breaking stuff. Thor thankfully didn't go too far, so he is there to try and stop the creature. There's a guest appearance by another superhero, but he doesn't get involved because he doesn't think he's needed, because the other Avengers show up, and we are left with a pretty spectacular cliffhanger ending. There's also a guest appearance by Patsy Walker, so that was kind of funny. There are a lot of great references to old comics in here that if you're not a fan of the Silver Age, you might overlook, and a couple of them are probably beyond me even, but there's some really good stuff here. This is good classic comic book action and adventure, bright colors, jokes being cracked, people that are actually acting like the superheroes they used to act like. Instead of a bunch of navel-gazing crybabies, they just jump right in and do what needs done. This was a lot of awesome action, a lot of great art, and a really fun story. I am shocked this is a Marvel book. This is probably one of the best books Marvel's putting out right now. So if you get a chance to read this, I highly, highly recommend it. Especially if you're a fan of Marvel from the 60s to the 80s, anywhere in that period, there's something here for you. This is classic storytelling with amazing classic style art where the heroes look like heroes, they act like heroes, and it's written with a fun story. So you actually get a story here that's part of a larger narrative that you can enjoy on its own or as part of the ongoing storyline. This miniseries is fantastic, and I really, really wish these guys would be doing a monthly book instead of just a miniseries, because this is great stuff. So if you get a chance to check this out, I highly, highly recommend it, especially if you're an Avengers fan or just a Marvel fan from, like I said, the 60s through the 80s. This is going to be right up your alley. It is absolutely good old-fashioned classic Marvel storytelling, and I cannot recommend it enough. That's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description to various support methods, and as always, we hope to see you on the next one.